Shields up, Iron Breakers. Rurikhan here coming at you with another video. Welcome back to Monster Hunter World, and the Golden Gal is back. And what exactly does that mean? That means that if you have not yet gotten your golden weapon of choice, now is the time to go ahead and give it another shot. You should be around for a week or so, and I figured that since Kulve Taroth is back on the scene, this would be a good time for me to take a look at Lunastra's Light Bowguns. Now, for those of you that are not aware, I actually like the Light Bowgun quite a bit when it comes to fighting Kulve Taroth. Why? Because you don't have to run around as much with your melee weapon, because she can cover such large distances whenever she does her little sushi roll. Basically, she can get away from you pretty darn fast, and it makes it very frustrating as a melee user to have to constantly chase after her. And then if your team happens to not position appropriately when you're trying to bring down the boulders on top of her or something, makes it even more frustrating. So I really like taking a Light Bowgun into this fight because it's very much a fire and forget type of playstyle. I can just position myself wherever I want, shoot the crap out of her, particularly because something that I've mentioned previously, for those of you that did not see my previous Kulve Taroth videos, this is the most elemental vulnerable monster in the game, as in she takes more elemental damage if you align yourself with her opposing element than pretty much anything else that I've ever seen in the game, like just straight up. Okay, so for that reason, you got the Light Bowguns. You know, the Light Bowguns, they got the rapid fire feature with elemental ammunition, and that is something that I really like. And when it comes to the Lunastra Light Bowgun, we're gonna get rapid fire on both water and thunder. Now, water is not great, but she does have a 2-star weakness to water, therefore you can kind of use water, but mostly we're going to be focusing quite a bit on the thunder aspect of things, because you guys know what I usually tell you. When she gets molten and you shoot her with thunder ammo, thunder ammo pierces a little bit. For those of you who don't know, not as much as a piercing shot, but then again, it also deals way more damage than piercing 3 if you build appropriately. Therefore, I've come up with a build. I call it the Luna Gun, because it is using naturally a Lunastra Bowgun, and this is the current build that I'm using to farm Kulve Taroth. And the main difference from the previous builds that I've shown you with the Light Bowguns is the fact that with this one, you don't actually have to swap weapons in between phases, assuming that everyone in your team is dealing sufficient damage, because if people in your team are slacking, you might have to go back to base and reload on ammunition, and then come back and shoot the crap out of Kulve Taroth some more. So let's get things started. Naturally, I wanted to try out the Empress Shell sticks, and you guys might wonder, okay, so why the Xeno'jiiva variant of that weapon? Because it comes with built-in razor-sharp spare shot, which is like a skill that I pretty much have on all of my Light Bowgun builds, because it is literally that good. For those of you who don't know, every now and then what this skill does is it prevents you from spending ammunition when you fire. And the cool thing is that if you don't spend ammunition in your fire, not only you don't actually spend the physical ammunition, but also it does not decrease your magazine. So for instance, if you have a magazine that has 4 shots, like the one that we have on this particular gun, whenever we're firing elemental ammunition, and you fire a gun and it triggers the skill, you still have another 4 shots. So your 4 shots can be stretched up to 5, 6, 7, sometimes 8, depending on RNG, which is really, really cool. So that's the reason why I wanted to get this gun. Also, the ammunition that you get on this gun is pretty good. The attack is not the best, but then again, that's the best thing about it. The fact, I mean, obviously the attack not being the best is not the best thing, but what I mean is, the best thing about it is that for our playstyle, that is not particularly relevant, because you're not really going that much for that base attack. You're actually going after the elemental damage, and you're going to be able to get more elemental damage through the elemental ammunition, which the attack is not going to influence as much. But even then, on top of all that, we're going to be maxing out attack with this particular build. Anyways, we also have a positive affinity of 10%, which is really, really cool. We got sweet slots in there with a tier 3 decoration and a tier 1. Now, when it comes to custom mods, I like to go with 3 recoil suppressors, because it allows you to run and gun while firing elemental ammunition, which is pretty cool. Also allows you to run and gun while firing slicing ammunition, which is another option that you have with this weapon, which you should make use of that. And then when it comes to augmentations, I haven't really augmented it yet, but if I were to augment, I would either take additional attack if I want more damage, or naturally health regen if you want a little bit more utility, a little bit more defense. So I'll leave that up to you guys. You want more damage, take more attack. If you feel that you're confident enough that you're going to be dodging enough and you're not going to be taking hits, go for the attack. Otherwise, go for the health regen and get a little bit more survivability in you. Anyway, let's get started with the build itself. The very first armor piece is Rathalos Helm Beta. We're going to be taking this one because it's got 2 levels of attack boost, and I want to get the Rathalos 2-piece bonus, which is critical element, which essentially is going to increase the amount of elemental damage whenever you do a critical hit, and you're going to be doing a lot of critical hits with this build, believe you me. Anyway, then we got the Wrath Soul Male Beta because we want to get free element up. Now, a little bit of a note here: if you guys do not have a release jewel, which you are going to need to complete this build, you might want to completely ignore the free element portions and go for an armor piece that is more useful for you. An example here would be, for instance, the regular Rathalos set piece, which comes with 2 tiers of weakness exploit, but for our case, we're going to be continuing with this because I want free element ammo up. Then we got Kieran Long Arms, what's the name of this? Kieran Long Arms Gamma. And this one comes in with blight resistance that we really don't care about, but it also brings in an additional point of free element ammo up, which we most definitely want because, like I told you guys, I want to max that out. And it brings in 2 tier 2 decoration slots, which are going to be very useful for us to get all of the decorations that we want on here. Then we got the Nergigante Coil Beta coming in with another 2 attack boosts, which are going to stack on top of the Rathalos Helm Beta, and you're already at 4 attack boost for this skill, so for this build, which means we're actually going to be able to max it out using the attack boost charm. Anyways, then we get Dante's Leather Boots Alpha because we want to get weakness exploit as well, and because it comes with tier 1 decoration slots, which we do need. And like I said, we're going to wrap things up with the Attack Charm 3. Now, if you're using this to go ahead and hunt Kulve Taroth, my personal recommendation for mantles is going to be Fireproof and Temporal, because you can use Fireproof whenever you are close to the fire area or whenever she gets molten, because she can basically one-shot you with a little fire blast, so you might want to use that. Or use a Temporal Mantle and get your dodges going, so that's completely up to you. Now, when it comes to decorations on the Empress Shell Sticks, we're going to put in another release jewel, which is going to essentially max out our free element ammo up, which is going to grant us 1 additional shot for both slicing ammunition as well as the whatever elemental ammunition you happen to be using. Then we're going to be putting in a bolt jewel. Now, a quick note here, which is if you are fighting a monster that happens to be weak to water, and instead of using bolt, you want to use water, then go ahead, get a stream jewel, and replace all of the bolt jewels in the build for stream jewels. I'm going to leave that up to you guys. In this case, whenever it comes to Kulve Taroth, I focus on bolt because you're going to be needing to deal more damage in that initial section when she still has her golden cloak. Golden cloak is particularly vulnerable to bolt, therefore I focus on that. And then when we get to the second stage, I tend to use slicing ammunition on the horns much more, and I also use a whole bunch of sleep ammunition to put her to sleep and all of that stuff. So on the second stage, I don't rely on elemental ammunition as much, but if I did, I can still use water. It's just not as good. Then on the Rathalos Helm Beta, we have an Expert Jewel. Now, this is a little bit optional. You can put something else in here if you really want to. The reason I put Expert Jewel is because it's going to raise our affinity from a baseline of 45 into 48, which then you stack the weakness exploit on top of that. You're going to be sitting on 98% affinity so long as you're hitting weak spots, which you should be doing pretty often with this particular gun. Then on Wrath Soul Male Beta, we're going to put in a Mighty Jewel. Now, you're going to have to get some Mighty Jewels. If you don't have Mighty Jewels, get some Destroyer Jewels in there. And if you don't have Mighty or Destroyer Jewels, then it's like, look, I'm not a miracle worker here. Put something that you want. But in my opinion, the best stuff to put on here is Mighty Jewels. I'll talk more about the Park Breakers in case you guys are curious at the end of this build. Then on the Kieran Long Arms Gamma, you're going to put a Tenderizer Jewel to max out your weakness exploit. Another Mighty Jewel because we are maxing out Mighty, Maximum Might. The reason we're doing this is because whenever you are firing, you're not actually spending stamina. Therefore, you can pretty much keep Maximum Might up all the time. Nergigante Coil with another Mighty Jewel, and then Dante's Leather Boots with 2 more Bolt Jewels. 3 Bolt Jewels, according to the testing that I have done, is all you need to max out elemental damage on elemental ammunition. So like I said, if you want to, instead of using Thunder, if you want to use the water, go ahead and swap these around for Stream Jewels, and you're good to go. Looking at the finalized build, you should have maximum attack boost, level 3 thunder attack, which is going to be the maximum that you can actually get damage out of. If you put any more thunder attack in this build, as far as I've tested, you don't actually get any additional damage, therefore I don't advise it. Maximum free element ammo up, granting you 1 additional in the magazine. Weakness exploit, which is going to increase our affinity by 50% whenever hitting a weak spot. Maximum might level 3, increasing our base affinity to 30% for most of the fight. Blight resistance, which is a bonus. Critical eye, which is going to increase our affinity just a smidge more. Razor sharp spare shot that comes from the gun itself. And please, please pay attention, people. This build is designed around this gun. This gun, which is the Empress Shell Sticks, the Lunastra Xenojiva variant of the Light Bowgun, is what I designed this build around. You cannot use other guns. I mean, you can use other guns with this build, but it's not going to be as good because it's not going to have this particular skill. Razor sharp spare shot. And then you got Rathalos Mastery critical element, increasing your elemental damage whenever you crit, which should be quite often because whenever you hit a weak spot of the monster, you're going to be sitting on 98% affinity, which is pretty damn good. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. You guys are going to tell me, Rurikhan, but for Kulve Taroth, you want to get Part Destroyer, right? So that you can actually break the parts and all of that. Now, listen, this build deals so much damage that you're going to be breaking parts no matter what. You don't need Part Destroyer for this build, in my personal opinion. Here's what I got to tell you. On the 2 runs that I ran in order to do this particular thing, the one that I record is naturally the level 6, so that you guys get the full hunt. But on the run that I ran previous, which was where she was at Pursuit level 1, which is when her parts have the highest durability possible, I broke 6 parts, got top part breaker in that run. On the level 6 one, I broke 9 parts, got top part breaker on that run, and I didn't need the part breaker jewels to do it, okay? All you got to do is you got to focus your shots on the very first part where she still has her golden cloak. Focus her shots so that they pierce and they keep hitting that golden cloak. Don't try to shoot her in a way that it pierces through the golden cloak and hits her body. Angle your shot so that it hits the golden cloak all the way, and you're going to be dealing massive amounts of damage. You're going to be breaking parts left, right, and center. Once you get to the part where she loses her golden cloak, that's when you want to start using your slicing ammunition on the horns, the slicing ammunition on the tail. If you feel the need, like if you want to shoot some elemental ammunition, like you're like, okay, I really don't want to waste my slicing right now, I want to shoot something else, shoot the water, which is not going to deal massive damage, but it will still deal damage. It will still keep you in the game. Remember, you got 2 types of sleep ammunition on this one, so in my opinion, if nobody in your team sleeps her before you actually get into that second phase, start it off with sleep ammunition level 1, and then go ahead and fire sleep ammunition level 2 after she slept once. You should be able to put her to sleep twice on that second stage, so long as nobody has used this sleep before. So this, in my opinion, is one of the best builds that you're going to find to deal with her. But I am curious of trying a new one pretty soon here, so I'm probably going to be crafting the Lunastra Heavy Bowgun, the Xenojiva variant as well, and I'm going to do some kind of variation in here, which will go around working with sticky ammunition, because I want to do a build around sticky ammo. I'm not sure if that gun actually has sticky ammo. I'll have to double check. But either way, my next build's probably going to be some kind of heavy bowgun, sticky ammo, crazy shenanigans type of shit. And hopefully you guys are looking forward to that. Once again, thank you very much for watching. If you guys enjoy my videos, remember, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so that you actually get notified and all of that good stuff. At this point, no doubt we will have had the end slate come up with 2 video suggestions that you guys might want to check out. And I would also really appreciate if you guys check out the video that I did on Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, because it took a lot of time to do that video, and I'd really appreciate if you guys just give it a look. Thank you very much for watching once again, and I will see you guys in the next one. Remember, comments, feedback in the comment section below. Peace out.